Okay, let's look at problem 4b. This first page is just for review. We have some angle theta here, and we can form a right triangle based on that. And then we can make a list of trigonometric functions. So the tangent of theta would be opposite over adjacent, check. Cotangent is the reciprocal of that, adjacent over opposite. Cosine is a over h. Secant is the reciprocal of that. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and the cosecant is the reciprocal of the sine. So that's the background for this problem. And now let's go to the next page. We're going to make a little table here. This column on the left, right here, has all 6 terms that we're asked to add together. And we're going to evaluate each one individually. So starting with arcsine 1. For me, I have to kind of turn it around and do it this way. The question, if somebody asks me, what's the arcsine of 1, I have to think, okay, the sine of what angle equals 1? Okay, so we're looking for an angle such that the sine equals 1. Well, that means that opposite over hypotenuse must equal 1. Or, in other words, opposite must equal hypotenuse. When does that happen? Oh, yeah. That happens with an angle of 90 degrees. Or, of course, we have to think in radians here, pi over 2. So that's the arcsine of 1. Same thing for the next one. Cosine of what angle gives you 1? Well, that means a over h must equal 1, or a equals h. Well, that's 0. The cosine of 0 degrees, or 0 radians, is 1. Okay, you get the idea, but let's just go through it real quick. So tangent of what angle equals 1? Well, that's when a over, that's when the opposite over the adjacent equals 1, or O equals A. Oh yeah, that's when you have a 45-degree angle, or pi over 4. Here we have, when does the cotangent equal 1? What angle are we looking at? Well, that means, again, it's just the reciprocal. A over O equals 1. Again, A equals O, so same thing, pi over 4. Arcsecant. When does the secant, for what angle does the secant equal 1? Well, let's see. Secant, that is the reciprocal of the cosine. So we're talking about h over a equals 1, or h equals a. That would be 0 again. Well, that makes sense. It's the same angle when the cosine equals 1. And as you might predict, this is going to be related to the sine. So cosecant of what angle equals 1? That's supposed to be a question mark. Well, that's when h over opposite equals 1, or h equals O. That's just like the top one up here, pi over 2. So now you just add these all up, and this would be 2 pi over 4, pi over 4, pi over 4, and 2 pi over 4. So we get 6 pi over 4. Or simplifying that, that would be, this is getting messy here, but 3 pi over 2.